Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Software Engineer K here, and we have some big stuff with Monsta Infinite. So for those who don't know, Monsta Infinite is a project I've been following. It's a fantastic project that's to do with blockchain-based play-to-earn gaming, and specifically they are looking to be a lot more accessible than what's currently on the market. Sort of like, Axie Infinity, but a lot more accessible in terms of the price point of entry. And I recently had a purchase of some more of their MONI tokens, which is kind of the native token, and I'm already up by about 70%. And I also participated in the pre-sale, and I'm up on that by around about 12 times, probably close to, yeah, about 12 times what I put in. So 1200%, I'm up that as well. So it is doing fantastically well. I just wanted to go through the newest, biggest update, which is the marketplace that is coming out in 5 days. So I'm just going to be going through a full overview of that, and also an update on how MONI token is doing now. So if we just go back to what was initially stated in the whitelisting, now this is to its synthesis, which is essentially kind of like how you breed in Axie. It's essentially how you create new monsters, which are the little things that you battle with. So these are your NFTs, and in order to generate new ones of these, you would clone them. And in order to clone them, you need to use something known as an STT token. To get STT tokens, you either get them through exchanging your MONI tokens, or I believe through playing the game. Now, since the game's not out, the only way to get them is going to be through exchanging your MONI tokens. Now, there are various different monsters. Each one has their own different attributes. Now, when you clone, I believe your monster will get kind of a randomized stats similar to what we have in Axie. So cloning strong, ones that are purer, I believe you will have higher chance of getting a purer clone. So yeah, it's not too tricky to understand, but at the same time, you do need to be aware of, how exactly to sort of manage your cloning to maximize your chance of getting the best monster that you can get for the stats. So they have gone and they've basically discussed more about the STT token, and why it's going to be high in demand, exactly what you need to do, and just how it's benefiting players. Now, this is partly why I've been saying that MONI token, I believe it's going to be my first proper 100x coin. It's already up 12x, and I believe that it's got so much more room to grow. The market cap is still very small. So the MONI token, these guys have been baking in as much utility, as much ways of generating demand for it as possible. And so I've been saying that staking is going to come out next year, but having your MONI tokens as part of a kind of liquidity pool with STT, like, that is just going to put a lot more demand on the MONI token. This is very similar to kind of what Illuvium, which is another play-to-based blockchain-based gaming platform, is doing, where they are allowing you to stake their ILV tokens with ETH. Here you'll be able to stake your MONI tokens with STT to provide liquidity that way for players exchanging. So as more players enter the platform, there's going to be more demand on the monsters, obviously, just like with Axie. As more players entered during that boom during the summer, the Axie price just went absolutely mental. The breeders just could not keep up. So that means more demand on STT. That makes sense. That's already been proven with Axie, for example. So that means more money exchange is going to be exchanged into the STT in order to meet this demand. So as that MONI token is being exchanged to STT, that's going to get put into their staking treasury. Now, the more MONI tokens that are being placed into that treasury, that's more MONI token that's going to be redistributed as rewards. And that reward is going to be going to, you guessed it, the MONI holders. So higher value for money, more benefits for MONI holders. And as you get more and more MONI holders, you get higher value of prizes for players. And then that in itself will incentivize more players, and then you get this loop. And people could argue and say, oh, but this is just an idea, it's not proven. How is this going to work? In practice, it might not work this way. Well, it's good to see that a project such as Axie Infinity, this is basically very similar to their model, and it has worked fantastically. This model is what led to Axie Infinity going 100x, and I believe that this replicated on a platform such as Monsta Infinite, which is actually growing and gaining partnerships a lot faster than Axie did in the early stages, we are going to see some explosive growth. So, you know, I've been kind of posting up some of my public buys for MONI token. I'm still buying, but I will share that in a little bit. So, yeah, this article kind of explains everything. I will include this in the link below. But just in terms of kind of like the timeline roadmap, what we can expect in the short term. So, what we should be seeing is you're going to have the option to register your Monster wallet, which should be your MetaMask with your, if you were lucky enough to get an Inception egg, it would be the same one. So they're going to be distributing the Inception eggs if you did manage to secure one, you know, once the marketplace is ready to go. And then, yeah, you'll basically be able to hatch your Inception egg and see exactly what you get. I believe when you hatch, that's when you'll be able to mint the Inception monster and see what stats it has. And remember, it has a chance of gaining some legendary moves, and those are very, 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 you know, lucrative. So some people, I believe, will probably just sell the Inception monster for how much demand there will be for it. But I'm keeping it because it does gain you access to the beta of the game. That's what I'm looking forward to, is to get access to the game as fast as possible, so I can see what exactly it is that I can, you know, take advantage of in the game in order to generate more more MONI tokens or more STT tokens, whatever it is that I can create a return from. So in terms of the marketplace, so we have the MONI STT liquidity pool like we just discussed, and next we have the sale of the Chrono, Zero and Soulbound monsters. Now, I'm not sure which ones these are because I'll show you guys in a second. It's not one of the ones that are kind of listed, so we'll just have to see. And then after, we'll be able to clone exactly what we discussed, and then eventually you'll be able to trade, and that will be trading via the live marketplace. I believe trading will be for what looks like, I believe, MONI tokens. So again, you'll be able to generate a return or profit based off of your kind of cloning farm, whatever it is you want to call it. So yeah, we can see that we have the marketplace launch described here. And if we just scroll through, so yeah, we have our elves from the Rhea Nation. We've got prophets, juggernauts, and then we have the golems, grognaks, bomas, and then terminators, alchemists, and primes. And then we also have our Inception monster, so I'm looking forward to this. This is one of the first ones, well, probably the first one that I'm going to have on my team. And then they've got one more, Collapse, which they haven't really kind of explained what it does yet. So yeah, 12th of October, just be ready for that. Pretty awesome stuff there. Now, with regards to MONI token specifically, so as you guys can see, I will just give you guys a quick display there. So I basically had a buy-in at around about here on this dip. So it was like about 0.3, and now it is at 2.32. So $2.32. MONI is recovering. Now, if we kind of scroll out to what we saw, you know, back at the start. So when the project first launched, we had this kind of huge spike. This was to do with lack of liquidity. All of the decentralized exchanges kind of went crazy because of the sniper bots and etc. Now, once we kind of had to sell off, the price came down to about 1.9. So that was a good point to buy. I actually bought at $2.5, $2, and then I bought at 1.39, 1.3-ish, somewhere around there. So my dollar cost average is kind of, you know, around about $1.7, $1.8. And the current price is actually above that, so I'm in pretty good profit. Now, I will continue to buy. If the price kind of comes back down to $2, I'll aim to have a buy there. But for now, it looks like we are on a continuous uptrend. If I just pull out a trend line here, just to show you guys. Okay, perfect. So I believe the price will kind of come and pull down to around about this 2.2 range around here. But yeah, we do have kind of this small area of resistance. So we'll see if we can kind of bounce off this trend line, break that resistance there, retest there, and then hopefully continue to the upside. That would be pretty cool. I believe Money Token, that is going to coincide with the launch of the marketplace. So I'm not too worried because people will start FOMOing in. We're going to have the game coming out, more FOMO. We're going to have the staking, more FOMO. There's so much stuff and so many partnerships. I'm going to do a separate video on all of the partnerships that have been coming out. You know, we've been seeing investment from some pretty big exchanges. OKX, they've invested into Money. So has Gate.io. They've also invested. And I've said, you know, from the start that when you have a project and there are kind of big names investing into it, you know that that project is most likely legitimate because these big brands, these big names, they're only going to invest in projects that their own due diligence has led to them being, you know, for obviously firstly legitimate, but of one with a lot of potential and money. Monsta Infinite, this is a project which has a lot of upside. So I'm going to continue dollar cost averaging, but you know, well done to those who kind of followed the queue and bought in on the dip there. We'll see where the next kind of best buy point will be, but again, as you can see, you are very early into Monsta Infinite. There's barely any data still. You know, the project, it only kind of launched, when was it, like less than a month ago. Yeah, it's less than a month old, so you know, anyone getting in now is very early. The game's not even out yet. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to go through with you guys today. Do join the Monsta Infinite Discord. I've included my personal link below, so if you join via my link, it does help me out. And check out the Medium article as well. Please do like and subscribe to support the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.